Welcome to another episode covering biodiversities around the world. Today, let us focus somewhere within the Southeast Asian country, the Lion City, Singapore. Singapore is an island country located off the coast of the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula in Southeast Asia, who shares maritime borders with Malaysia and Indonesia. It is considered one of the world's smallest countries with an area spanning only 725.7 square kilometers, which is 420 times smaller than the Philippines. This island nation comprises one main island and over 60 smaller ones. Singapore is drained by a large number of narrow and short streams, some of which flow into the sea through mangrove swamps or estuaries. Water reservoirs cover parts of the central area as there are no significant lakes or rivers. But with just a small nation, Singapore has an estimated 23 to 28,000 species of terrestrial organisms and 12,000 to 17,000 marine organisms, making up over 40,000 kinds of non-microbial organisms. This enormous variety of life in this country calls as biodiversity. Biodiversity refers to every living thing, including plants, bacteria, animals, and humans. But as humans put increasing pressure on the planet, using and consuming more resources than ever before, we risk upsetting the balance of ecosystems and losing biodiversity. This is why government agencies, organizations, advocates call up for the importance of biodiversity conservation and management. This refers to the protection, upliftment, and management of biodiversity in order to derive sustainable benefits for present and future generations. There is a need to preserve and sustain the diversity of species and ecosystem in order to maintain these life-supporting systems and essential ecological processes. Singapore has a Red Data Book, which is a publication that provides information and lists of all recorded species they have. Some of these are National Parks Board or NParks of Singapore is the lead agency responsible for greenery, biodiversity conservation, wildlife and animal health, welfare and management. They are also working closely with the community to enhance the quality of their living environment. Here are some of the laws passed. In addition, there are present non-government organizations who are advocate of this. For now, we will highlight ACRES, or the Animal Concerns Research and Education Society, which is a registered charity and institution of public character founded by Singaporeans in 2001. ACRES is an animal protection organization whose Wildlife Rescue Center, or the AWRC, is Singapore's first facility dedicated to the rescue and rehabilitation of animals rescued from the illegal wildlife trade and injured native wild animals.
Indeed, Singapore, with its tropical climate supporting a vast number of species, is a haven for plants and animals. However, this small country also has its challenges related to the matter of their conservation. Singapore is home to endangered species like the Ruffles banded langur, Pied Oriental hornbill, and soon the pangolin. Other species found in the area like the Malayan tapirs are extinct in Singapore. These are just a few examples of the bad damages brought by problems faced in biodiversity conservation. Urbanization and land development is a top concern when it comes to conservation of biodiversity. It's led to forest fragments, land reclamations, and pollutions. Land development has separated forests with its roads, and with it disrupted the local ecosystems, caused roadkills, and inbreeding, which lead to limited gene pools and lower survivability of local species. To mitigate this, Singapore groups have done tree planting movements and created bridge structures along roads to connect forests. Although this may be effective, bridges like the Ecolink Bridge is only a small part of the forest that extends kilometers. Another example of a concern on biodiversity nowadays would be the clementi forests, which are assigned for development. Many oppose the development plan and petition for the forest's conversion as a nature park. Others seek solutions that can aid the local species. The clementi forest, after all, is home to many species like the once locally extinct harlequin butterflies. Researchers are actually studying two ways of saving this. The first way would be to introduce them to another habitat. The second most preferred is the conversion of the forest as an eco-park. These are just a few examples related to the terrestrial biodiversity problems. Marine biodiversity is also a concern in Singapore. Over the past years, the country has done land reclamation and has damaged coral reefs, marine wildlife, and mangrove forests. The granite seawalls created also are not efficient as a home for many marine wildlife, and this has been a problem that researchers have been focusing on. Over the past years, growing corals were the target in the seawalls since they attract wildlife. Today, there are resilient corals found there, and this shows a light of hope in sustaining wildlife in the barren seawalls. Another way that is being studied would be the installation of habitable tiles on steep seawalls on tourist-filled places. This promotes awareness and closeness to the marine life that helps in their conservation. The Lion City is overall a haven for humans, animals, and plants. Although there are still challenges, it has continued pushing through with its green advocacy. Today, the Lion City is better known as the city in a garden, a testimony to its actions through the years which propagated in its citizens biophilia, the idea that humans are innately attracted to nature. When we look at Singapore, we see green architecture, eco-parks, and forests. The city, along with its citizens, did not separate nor ignored the local biodiversity, but integrated it instead to create an environment that caters to both. The title, The City in the Garden, is a great encapsulation of what Singapore and its citizens stand for in the conservation of biodiversity. The city is just a part of a garden, a bigger system, and to protect this haven, its citizens should not disregard the greater system they are a part of. To conserve and sustain biodiversity, a mindset that respects and protects nature and its ways is necessary.